it's really important for divers for us to know what's in our oxygen tank, as the news likes to call it. And that's why we always have to analyze our gas. Now, at the nitrox level, it's really appropriate to rely on the dive shop sensor. However, when we get past the nitrox level, if we're talking about cave diving, or we're talking about trimix diving or rebreather diving, you need to invest in your own analyzer, okay? You need to be able to double check your tanks after you get home, or if the dive shop's analyzer is down, you can just use your own. So this is my analysis kit, all right? This is an Apache box. It might be a little bit oversized. Picked it up from Harbor Freights, and inside I have a DiveSoft Solo helium analyzer, painter's tape, the DiveSoft connector hose, the flow limiter, so this connects to the connector hose, which connects to the analyzer. A pressure gauge. I was always taught that you never analyze a tank that you haven't gauged. And that way you don't analyze a tank that's almost empty or that needs to get filled. So this goes in here. This hits the tank first, unless I've already gauged it in another way. A silencer is a DiveSoft product as well. I would use this if I needed to drain a cylinder. You know, this analysis kit also goes to the fill station with me. If I'm blending something, need to drain it. And this little bag, and this bag has a couple little extras in it. So there's a few O-rings in here. This O-ring I've had fail on the flow limiter, which was most likely my fault, but I bought a couple extras just in case that happened again. I also have regular DIN O-rings in case it falls out of my pressure gauge here or out of the flow limiter. And I have two other accessories. This accessory here plugs into the Solo and allows you to just use the analyzer on a valve without a flow limiter. It is a flow limiter, but without any kind of vector connection. And this is a super neat little tool that allows you to hook your connector hose up to a low pressure inflator hose. So you get to the dive site, you realize you haven't analyzed your tanks, your regs are already on your tanks, you're feeling lazy, you don't want to take your regs off. Well, no worries, you can connect this to it and get a reading off of that cylinder, and it's totally appropriate to use. So I have, I think, all of the connector fittings that DiveSoft sells, and that gives me a little versatility using the Solo. I've also got the ability, there's a Sharpie in here, to label the cylinders, which is the other crucial step. We need to know what's in the tank and also have a label on it so we can verify that underwater, especially if we have more than one cylinder. And all that fits in this waterproof container. I also have a backup analyzer that I'll take to the dive site or on the dive boat in case a label falls off or we just want to verify something, or if someone's tank is open and we have to use a transfill whip on the boat. In that case, we would still want to validate the gas that's in there after we've transfilled off a different cylinder. Every dive shop that's filling nitrox or trimix should 100% require you to analyze your tanks before you leave and fill out a fill log. So at the nitrox, recreational, sport diving level, it's totally appropriate to rely on that analyzer that they have there. When we're talking about being self-reliant and independent technical divers, it's time to invest in an analyzer, get a kit, something like this. You can probably get a smaller box, like I said, that's kind of overkill. And that way you have a little bit of independence as well as redundancy with gas analysis. So thank you for watching.